Alright guys, now let's continue with Illusory Tower, and this time I'll be doing free-to-play guide on floor 33. Now floor 33 is actually straightforward but very RNG heavy, and the reason is this enemy boss is able to do an AoE disruption on your characters on turn 3 and turn 4. Basically, depending on which of your characters actually get disrupted, it could mean you are potentially missing out one or two buff, and that may mean you do not actually have enough damage output to actually kill off the boss. Now, what makes this stage even more annoying or harder than what it should be is the fact that there's also a secret stage, which is only going to be unlocked when you actually finish off the battle with a divine dog or divine dog totality status, and that basically means right now in the game there are only two characters which are able to do it. So that basically means you have to win this battle with one of those two characters are available on the field, and the two characters are either going to be this blue SSR Megumi, who is obviously going to be the better choice because of the color advantage. Basically you need to finish the battle with him already activating his ultimate attack once, which summons that divine dog totality. The other alternative option, which is a lot trickier to pull off, is going to be using the R version of this Megumi, and this R version basically have a skill 3, which is also able to summon divine dog. So you can also do that, but the annoying thing with this is that basically means you have one less character to help to do a bit of chip damage. So the damage requirement on your Gojo to actually kill off the boss is going to be even higher. So that's kind of why if you do have this SSR Megumi, then do please play him. Now, if you do not have him, don't worry too much about it because you can always come back to the stage in order to actually unlock the secret stage. So if you just want to, finish off the stage and get on with it to move on to the higher floor, then what you actually want to put here instead is going to be SR Momo. And basically the reason why you want to put SR Momo is because obviously you have one extra buffer to ensure your Gojo can actually one-shot the enemy. And the other reason, which is also going to be very important in this battle, if you do actually play her, is the fact that she can also do the skill 2, which not only buff but also apply evasion. And the way you basically want to do this is you want to play this SR Momo, and you also want to equip her with this recollection, which then basically is able to draw attack. So basically that will allow you to mitigate a lot of the high amount of damage the enemy is able to do, because enemy only do single target attack. So that would be the ideal scenario if you don't care about unlocking secret stage. Okay, now let me show you the skill level and then go through exactly what's the strategy behind beating the stage. So skill level wise, I have my Yaga at level 9 buff and also Nanami at level 8, and I do have both the ultimate and also the self buffing skill on on Gojo, both at level 10. And I feel like that's more or less required if you actually want to one shot it. Now if your levels are not that high, or potentially if your goal just not one dupe, you can still beat the stage, but then that basically means you have to put a lot more resources on potentially Blue Megumi to actually kill it off. Or for example, if you actually play SR Momo, then you probably can get away without such a high level because you have the buff from Momo as well. But in terms of Blue Megumi, you don't need to put too much investment into him. You basically will only pretty much be doing his ultimate and also his skill 2 attack, and so that's kind of you raise them to level 6, and that's pretty much enough to go on ahead with. In terms of level 8 is going to be more than enough for Megumi. Okay, now so what's the strategy here? So basically the enemy is going to attack twice every single turn. If you actually read his skill description, attack twice every single turn, and a lot of time he use one single target attack and then one buff or debuff. And basically what you see is that on turn 1 he's going to do a buff and then one attack. On turn 2 he's going to do two single target attack. On turn 3 he's going to apply a disruption and one single target attack. On turn 4 it's going to be disruption and one single target attack, and then on turn 5 it's going to be his special skill, which is also a single target. So once you realize of that, you then realize actually he doesn't actually attack much. Like he hits really hard, but he doesn't actually attack a lot. So what you can actually do is basically just try to mitigate the damage he would be doing by using taunt and also evasion. So that's kind of why I play Miwa on my team, because on the first turn what's going to happen is that you don't actually want her to use skill 3, like skill 2, because the skill 2 would apply evasion, which is nice on paper, but that basically means she will survive all the way till turn 2, which is not ideal, because what you actually want to do is you want to bring Blue Megumi out as soon as possible so that he can start charging up his ultimate gauge. So you do actually want Miwa to die on turn 1. So what you're going to do with Miwa is that her passive ability is able to taunt already. So just basically do a single skill 1 attack to do a tiny bit of chip damage and then just let her go off and be killed off on turn 1, and that will be ideal. And in terms of the recollection you want to put on her, it's going to be this one. Basically, this one have the passive ability to increase curse technique damage to your whole team, which scale based on Kyoto, which Miwa is part of Kyoto school, and also this buff is always going to be present even when Miwa leave the battlefield. So that's kind of why you want this reflection on her. Then on turn 2, this is where you just let the enemy attack you and the bit of RNG. The enemy will be able to do 2 single target attacks. However, as long as they don't hit on the same person, you should be able to survive. Like all of the characters on your team should be strong enough to withstand at least 1 hit from the enemy. So that's basically what you want to do for the first 2 turns. And also for the first 2 turns, there's no need for your Yaga or Nanami to buff at all, because what you'll be doing is you'll be stacking pride twice and only use his Gojo special attack on turn 6. So Yaga and Nanami only need to start buffing on turn 3. Okay, so that's basically what happens on the first 2 turns. Then on turn 3, you're going to start buffing on Yaga and Nanami, and also you would have your Blue Megumi trying his lockout with his skill 2. His skill 2 do have a small chance of stun, and if you're able to stun, then basically you prevent the enemy from disrupting you for 1 turn. So just try your luck and see whether this actually works for you. It doesn't matter too much if it doesn't work. If it doesn't work, then you just take the RNG chance to see which of your character actually get disrupted. And then that's going to be the same thing on turn 4 as well. You repeat, you try to see whether you can stun the enemy. If not, then you just take that RNG chance to see which one of your characters get disrupted by the enemy and see whether that actually matters to you or not. And then on turn 5, this is where this reflection is then going to come in. On turn 5, the enemy boss is going to have his special attack already charged up. It's going to be pretty much enough to one-shot anyone except for Gojo, who have damage immunity. So what you want to do here is you want to use this R recollection, which have the ability to draw attack, but also apply evasion to self for 2 turns, for 2 times in 2 turns, and that basically allow you to prevent the high amount of one-shot target, one-shot killing special attack that enemy boss is able to do, and therefore actually allow you to survive. So that's basically why you kind of want this recollection on one of your characters in order to mitigate that high amount of damage, and that basically will allow you to go through on turn 5. And then on turn 6, this is where the nukes start happening. If you actually have this recollection on your Blue Megumi and Megumi is on the field from turn 2, then your ultimate attack should have been charged up, so you can then do a combo attack with Blue Gojo and Megumi to hopefully break the enemy, and then on turn 7 you will be trying to finish him off with a single S1 attack from Blue Gojo.
相手の動きを観察しろ。手早く落ち着け。やっちゃっていいの？さて楽しくなってきた。そこです。来いよ。私にあとは任せろ。手早く行くぞ。手加減はしてあげるよ。さて楽しくなってきた。そこです。相手の動きを観察しろ。片付けます。行くぞ。手加減はしてあげるよ。授業を始めよう。決まっていきましょう。ね、やれ。よーい、そっと。最善。片付け。やるか。 手加減はしてあげるよ。
授業を始めよう。ここが踏ん張りどころです。
さて楽しくなってきた。ビビらずいける。
来いよ。どこに飛ぶかな。終わりにするぞ。相手の動きを観察しろ。
手早く行くぞ。手加減はしてあげるよ。
授業を始めよう。ここが踏ん張りどころです。
さて楽しくなってきた。
オラオラオラオラオラオラオラオラオラオラ。来いよ。相手の動きを観察。
手早く済ませましょう。いつでも行けるぞ。それじゃおしまいにしようか。
授業を始めよう。ここが踏ん張りどころです。
一気に行くぞ。術式判定赤。
相変わらず乗るなよ。
行きますよ。はいはい。
相手のさて
やるか。やっちゃっていいの。
では教育の時間だ。決まっていきましょう。
あめこれで様子見かな。まあ最強だからね。